Hola, everybody. Bet you weren't expecting to see me for at least a few weeks. 2 years between vlogs, and then 12 weeks between vlogs, and now hopefully this will go up within days of my last one. I am at Melnitz Hall at UCLA, where I went to film school. Graduated in 1981. And for the first 2 decades after I graduated, I was up here all the time because they used to have their film screenings here in what used to be called Melnitz 1409, the big theater. It's now called the James Bridges Theater in memory of famous UCLA film alumni. But then they opened the Billy Wilder Theater in the Hammer Museum down in Westwood, and UCLA now shows its film programs down there. So I haven't been up here in a couple years. It looks quite a bit like it did when I was here, except that it was in a more institutional beigey paint job, and they didn't have all these cute and sexy little signs. And they also didn't have all these posters commemorating the films of UCLA graduates. And that's because UCLA, when I went there, was not promoting professional filmmaking as a career. The mantra that you would hear from people in the department, from professors and administrators in the film department was, "We are not a trade school. You were there to get in touch with yourself as a filmmaker and do what you wanted to do, and not consider the gross financial aspects of being a filmmaker." And of course, of course that was YouTube 5 years ago. But in the late 70s and early 80s, that was about the stupidest way you could teach film, because film making really cost money. It cost a shitload of money to make movies. And as a result, it's interesting, when I look back at my generation of UCLA Film School graduates, pretty much nobody famous came out of that period. The only name filmmaker I can think of who was at UCLA when I was there was Alex Cox, who did Repo Man. He was perfect for the department as it was run at the time, because he stole everything. He would come into the building and take stuff and use it to make his own films on his own terms, which was perfect. In fact, the most I ever learned from UCLA Film School about actual filmmaking, I learned after I graduated. Got involved in making a 16mm movie about a year after I graduated, and we snuck in late at night and used the editing rooms here to edit it for free. And that was how you used UCLA back then. But then USC, which of course had an even lower budget film department than UCLA. They had used to work out in the 60s and 70s. They used to work out of this World War II era bungalow. It was really cool, but totally low budget. USC was churning out filmmakers like George Lucas and John Milius and Dan O'Bannon. And those guys in the 80s started to donate money to the USC Film School, and their pals like Steven Spielberg started doing the same, and all of a sudden the USC Film School was getting this huge endowment, and that's when, of course, the administrators at UCLA finally took notice and realized, hey, maybe we ought to have a more business-related, or at least business-friendly, and more realistic film school, and they changed it. And as a result, all of a sudden, they started turning out actual professional filmmakers. And they started promoting them with all of these damn posters. Anyway, I came here tonight because they were having a free presentation by an archivist of the Motion Picture Academy, talking about preserving amateur films from the film era. And of course, you know, now we're in the digital era, and YouTube is supposedly forever. I just noticed the other day, I was looking back at one of the few videos I've made that I really enjoy watching. Again, the Don't Show My Hat Hair, We Are All Made of Stars video. And I noticed that for some reason, YouTube has lost the 480p version. The highest resolution it's got is the 360. What is that about? You know, if you're putting stuff up on YouTube and expecting it to be there forever, not necessarily that we really are, but it's time to start thinking about that. I would imagine. You know, what is the hope that all of this digital media is going to last forever and forever on the internet? I have no answers. I have no answers. Ooh, Bug. 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 What you doing, Bug? Bug. Hey, matte painting from Blade Runner. Actual matte painting from Blade Runner. Very cool.